Hi there, how are you? My name is Mr. Gemelli, and you were in my car with me. And this is gonna be a really weird looking video, but this is probably the easiest thing I can do for you. You're watching this presumably because you have asked me about Video Game Club. And I assume you're doing this because you were doing a speech in your ICT class. That's really cool. I teach ICT too, so let's talk about Video Game Club and what I can tell you about it. The first thing is that for the history of the organization, Video Game Clubs of America, you need to go to the website VGCUSA.org and click on the history button, and you'll find all kinds of information about the history of the national organization. The first club, where it started, who started it, who advised it, and things like that, okay? And you'll find out that it started here in Chambersburg at the magnet school by a gentleman named Mr. Bound. Now, where I come in is back in 2017. In 2017, the magnet school Video Game Club ran, I guess, what essentially was a fundraiser. They were on a camp for Minecraft, and they had advertised it in the local, whatever's going on in town. And my son loves Minecraft. I mean, he is, I think on his little phone, he has like 600 worlds made. They're not like super, there's a lot of stuff, but 600 worlds is a lot of worlds, man. So when we saw this, we thought, you know what? He loves Minecraft. It wasn't like super expensive, so we asked him if he wanted to go to Minecraft camp, and he did. While we were there, the Video Game Club kids basically ran the show. I remember Sam basically was the head honcho. Nyla was there, Jeremy was there. I just didn't know these kids at the time. And I thought they were all great with the campers or students or whatever you want to call them. And while I was there, I had remembered Mr. Bound from his time teaching at the high school. And we got to talking and, just about stuff. About his kid, about my kid, about, how goofy they are, because kids are goofy. And he asked me if I had any interest in starting a video game club at the high school. This was back in 2017, maybe February. And I said, I would love to think about it, but I'm coaching football, and I don't know if I can do both exceptionally. And he said, you don't really have to worry too much about the club, because once the club gets going, it runs itself. Now, I didn't understand that. I was nervous because I didn't want to do anything, halfway. If I do something, I want to be all in with it. So it took a couple months, and we didn't talk about it. Well, 2018, the beginning of the school year, I hear from him again. And this time I said, if you say it's this easy, let's give it a shot. Why not? Now, we hadn't advertised anything, hadn't made a poster, had not put an announcement on the announcements, none of that. The second activity period that we had, I simply had a sign-up sheet that Bound sent me for people interested in esports. Not even a video game club. I mean, this was competitive esports. And about 150 people showed up at my door. Now, if you're in ICT, you are in the A100 wing, most likely, and where my room is kind of in the middle. I'm in 106. You could imagine 150 kids in that hallway. The principal at the time was still Mr. Ocker. Mr. Ocker had he was walking around the halls, and he came to our hall, and he saw so many kids, And he's like, what's going on here? And he saw me simply signing kids up to join an interest group. We weren't even like officially a club. The school board had recognized Video Game Club as an acceptable club in the district, but we hadn't officially formed yet. We just had an interest group. So seeing that many people was really phenomenal. When we finally met, I think it was the third or fourth activity period of 2018, the biggest problem that Bound and I had was, all right, we have 150 kids. Where can we meet with them? Because no classroom is going to hold 150. The cafeteria was out. The gym was out. Honestly, my first thought was maybe we could meet in the parking lot. And Bound was like, that's fine. I don't care. Wherever. Well, we settled on the only other room in the building that could feasibly hold us, and that was the band room. We had to run it by the band teachers, Mr. Leonard, Mrs. Albright, Ms. Abraham, and they were cool with it. They said, that's fine, as long as nothing is broken. We don't care. So we had our first meeting, and Mr. Bound came down from the magnet school to kind of help us out, because I was still kind of nervous. I didn't know I've never run a club before. What do I know, right? So Bound came down to basically get the ball rolling. And the one thing that stuck out to me that, he's not wrong. He told everybody, look around. Look at all the people that are in here. People did. Excuse me. He said, look around, guys. We're weird, aren't we? We're not normal. We are, what we are. And he pointed the finger back at himself too, and me. I mean, because I'm just as weird and geeky as anybody else. But Bound and I are at stages in our life where I guess we don't care how geeky we are. High school students, though, there's a social structure and a caste system that Bound and I would love to see disintegrate. A lot of kids who come to Video Game Club are not what you would call the most socially active kids in the world. They're not going out and doing, what all the quote-unquote cool kids are doing. And Josh Bound and I think that's not necessarily, true. Our kids are awesome in their own awesome way, right? So because of, Bound in my mentality, the philosophy of Video Game Club, really, and this is important, you're going to want to write this down. The philosophy is this club aims to make the socially awkward socially active. And we do that through video gaming. There's the structure of the high school where, the big time athletes and the valedictorians are on one side of the spectrum, and maybe the kids who, don't necessarily want to be in school, cause trouble or whatever, they're on the other side of the spectrum. Most kids fall somewhere in the middle, and they're just looking for something to belong to. And it doesn't matter how big you are, it doesn't matter how strong you are, it doesn't matter how fast you are. Once you pick up that plastic controller with those buttons, you're on an equal playing field with almost anybody. So video games have given our students a voice, a club, a place to belong. And that's why Video Game Club started at Cassius. At least that's why I started advising it, because I believe in the philosophy. I believe in the motto and what we're trying to accomplish. I remember thinking at one of the meetings we had last year, there were no chairs in the band room, so everybody was just standing around, but like mixing around and milling and meeting new people, making new friends. And I thought to myself, this is the best thing I've ever done as a teacher. I don't care how many students I've taught, sent to college, have been successful. This right here is the best thing I've ever done, because I'm helping students make friends. And that's a skill that, honestly, when I talk to some of the kids in my ICT class about Video Game Club, that it's a skill that I forgot in high school because I played football, and all the football kids were just my friends. So it's really awesome. Some historical points you might be interested in. Our first club president, her name was Samantha Kiesling. I think that's Kiesling. Our first executive board, our first vice president was Noah Pretlow, Noahpretlow. Noah was probably the best recruiter I've ever seen. He is, I think, the epitome of why Video Game Club works. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Noah here. Noah came to Chambersburg from Baltimore, or from Maryland, from somewhere in Maryland. And he didn't know anybody. He knew one person. He knew his brother. And that's a tough situation to be in as a senior. So, I'll put the light on here for you. You can see me a little bit. I'm in the parking lot. So, he had me for class. Maybe it was dumb luck that he had me in a class. And he heard about Video Game Club, loved video games, was a big Pokemon fan, loved Mario Kart. And when he joined the club, he met so many people, made a lot of friends, and that's what the club's about. That he is success story number one. And I'm sure there was a lot of other ones that I just didn't have in class that I didn't know about on a first name basis. So the system works. That's what I'll say. The system works. And Bound is right. The club runs itself now. Our current president is named Leo Preciado Espinosa. So that's PRECIADO-ESPINOZA. We just finished voting for our executive board, so I can't give you that information just yet. If you're interested, I'll tell you about it. You just come by my room. I'll let you know the voting results when I check. If I missed anything, I don't know. I've been talking for almost 13 minutes here, so if I missed anything, you can stop by my room, A106, if you have a specific question, or you can send me an email with a specific question, and I'll give you a specific answer. I hope you have a good presentation. I hope everybody in your class enjoys hearing about Video Game Club. Maybe they'll join. Awesome. See you.